Hello students. In the last class, I started a new chapter that is environmental issues. In that, I explained about what is pollution and what are various types of pollutants. And after finishing that, I started explaining about air pollution. In that, I explained about what are the various causes of the air pollution. Under that, I explained about particulate matter and also various gases such as oxides of sulfur and also ethylene and also carbon monoxide, etc. Like that, we discussed about many gases that causes air pollution. And today's class I am going to explain about how to control this particular air pollution. What are the methods by which dirty air can be cleaned into a purified air, and that is the topic I am going to explain today. So let us start. The first topic is control of particulate matter. For that, the first method used is electrostatic precipitator. Very simply, you can call it as arrestor. Electrostatic precipitator is one of the very efficient device which remove 99% of the particulate matter which is released in thermal power plants. 99% of the particulate matter you can be able to clear by using electrostatic precipitator device. That means by this sentence only you can be able to understand how efficient this device is. This electrostatic precipitator, it works on the principle that dust particles are given with some charge. By giving some charge to this dust particles, we are removing the dust particles from the dirty air and making the dirty air into purified air. That is a principle that is used in the electrostatic precipitator method. Now let us discuss it very detailed way by showing this diagram. When I start explaining by showing this diagram, then you will understand very clearly. Now, so this is a device. See, just you can see now, this is a device. In that, these are anodes. These are anodes. See, you just follow my arrow mark, then you will understand so clearly. See, this is a device. In the given device, so these circles are there na, follow my arrow mark. These circles are nothing but anodes. Now these anodes, they are given with high voltage of electric current. When these electrodes are given with high voltage of electric current, they releases so many electrons. So this corona, it releases so many electrons. When these electrons are discharged out of this corona, now what happens, you will pass the dirty air through these particular gaps. Did you notice between these anodes there are certain gaps are there na? Through these particular gaps, the dirty air, that means dirty air means it consisting of so many dust particles. That is the meaning of dirty air. When it is passing through, already this anode, it is given with the high voltage current, so it is converted itself into corona. It produces corona which releases so many electrons. That point I already discussed. Now these electrons are coming out. When the air it is passing, it consisting of the dust particles. Now every electron, it binds to one dust particle. One electron, one dust particle. See, one electron, one dust particle, one electron, one dust particle, one electron, one dust particle. Like that, all these electrons which are released by this corona, they gets attached to the dust particles. See, try to recollect my earlier point what I told. This electrostatic precipitator works on the principle that charging the dust particles. Did I say said it? Did I say it or not? So that point you please recollect. So by producing electrons by the corona, these electrons are attaching to this dust particles, so we are giving charge to these particular dust particles. Now this is charged dust particles, that means a dust particle plus electron. When it is passing through like this, here somewhere down here, here, follow my arm mark, you will understand. Here you can see one more plate which is acting like a cathode. This cathode, when the air it is passing, these dust particles which are associated with the electrons, they will be attracted. See, they will be attracted. So all these dust particles, they falls down and attracted in this portion. All the dust particles are falling down, so the purified air, it passes through these particular columns. So this is a very simple technique. Just by charging the dust particles, you are clearing all the dust particles so that you can get purified air. Hope you understood. But still, half a minute brief summary I will give, then you will clearly understand. Point number 1, these are anodes. In that you will give thousands of volts of energy. Point number 1. So that this corona, it produces so many electrons. These electrons, they binds to the dust particles that are present in the dirty air so that they get charged. Point number 2, when they are passing through these columns, here in the down you can be able to see the cathode, so that these charged dust particles, it will be collected by this cathode. So all the dust particles are fallen down, it results in the purified air passes through these particular columns. Only these 4 points I gave a brief summary. Hope you understood electrostatic precipitator. Now we are going for the second method by which you can be able to clear the air pollutants. Now the second method is scrubber method. Scrubber method में you are going to use uh, you are going to separate both the dust particles and also the gaseous pollutants. This is a very important point you need to understand, because many students, when they are choosing the correct answer, they are confusing between the scrubber and electrostatic precipitator. Electrostatic precipitator, if you want, I'll show you also, then you will understand. It is used to remove the particulate matter. That's why I used to highlight the important points by using various colors, so that these are very important points where you need to focus on. So electrostatic precipitator, it is used to separate the particulate matter. Now I am going to show the scrubber. It is used to clean air from both dust particles, I mean dust particles means particulate waste, and also gases. That is the importance of the scrubber. So hope you don't confuse if the question it is asked in your NEET exam. Now this scrubbers, it is in the form of what I call wet scrubbers also, and even dry scrubbers also. And what is the importance of this scrubber? Scrubber, it is very important to remove the gases like oxides of sulfur. It may be sulfur dioxide or sulfur trioxide, whatever it may be, but mostly it is used to remove the oxides of sulfur. In the last class itself, just in the last class itself, how dangerous the oxides of sulfur I explained so clearly, and what are its adverse effects in the human beings, how it is creating disorders in the human beings. Just in the last class only I explained. Still, if you forget, just go through that video, then you will understand. Then you will understand in a better way. Okay. Now the scrubber, it releases this particular oxides of sulfur in such a way. You see this diagram, then you will clearly understand. Now this is a dirty air. It consisting of oxides of sulfur. Okay. Now this dirty air, it is passing through this column. Please follow this arrow mark, then you will understand. This is a dirty air. Dirty air, it is passing through this column. Okay. When this dirty air, it is passing through this column, and here you can be able to see a thin film. Did you notice it? See some black colored dots. Did you notice it or not? These black colored dots, it is a thin film of lime. Now when this dirty air, it is passing through this lime, this is oxides of the sulfur, it reacts with this lime and it forms the calcium sulfate, CaSO4 twice. This is calcium sulfate, and this calcium sulfates, it forms a small precipitate particles, and all these precipitate particles, they fall down. They fall down. Understanding it or not? When they fall down, the purified air, it passes out. Did you notice it? See, this is clean air. Now a very brief summary I will give, then you will still more clearly you will understand. This is a device called scrubber. Now, the dirty air, it is passed through this column. Okay, this is point number one. Now point number two, when this dirty air it is passing through this column, here top you can see a thin film of the lime. Now this, it consisting of the sulfide, this oxides of the sulfides, they reacts with this particular lime and forms this calcium sulfate crystals. I'm sorry, not exactly crystals, precipitate particles. And all these precipitate particles being heavy, they becomes a little heavy na, that's why they fall down, they fall down, and the purified air it passes out. Only 3 points. By these 3 points summary, you must have understood the scrubber in a better way. Hope you understood. Now let us take control of gaseous pollutants. It is a very important topic, many times asked question, so you need to focus on this question 100%. Okay, this catalytic converters, these basically, in the last class I told, the major source of the gaseous pollutants are nothing but automobiles, uses of the fossil fuels like diesel, petrol, and also coal, etc. When you are using this oxides of sulfur and oxides of carbon and also this hydrocarbons, they all will be released. And in just yesterday's class only I explained very clearly what are the bad effects of these what I call gaseous pollutants. Now how to remove these gaseous pollutants, that will be done by the catalytic converter. Catalytic converter, in that, proper maintenance of automobiles along with the use of lead free petrol or diesel, that means lead free petrol or diesel can reduce the pollutants. Now catalytic converter basically means some expensive metals. Now let us take, you are using one bike or some scooty. In that scooty, from where this particular air, there's a polluted air, it comes out from, through this particular silencer. So the inner layer of this particular silencer, they are layered, they are coated with the most expensive metals such as platinum, palladium, and also rhodium. When these what do you call these metals, when you coat around these particular silencers, when the air it is passing through this silencer, now this air it is polluted, which consisting of carbon monoxide and oxides of nitrogen and hydrocarbons. Now when this particular polluted air it is passing through the silencer which is coated with the platinum, palladium, and also rhodium, when it is passing through that, this carbon monoxide, which is very hazardous and highly toxic, it converts into carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is not that harmful. Now when the oxides of nitrogen, when it is passing through these particular radioactive isotopes, these metals, they, this oxides of nitrogen, it is converted into nitrogen and oxygen. Nitrogen is very essential. Nitrogen, plants by nitrogen fixation they are utilizing it. And how important the nitrogen, in the previous classes also I so many times explained, nitrogen it makes our DNA. Our DNA, it is made up of the nitrogen itself. So and even proteins are made up of this nitrogen. Such important nitrogen it will be produced. And oxygen it is called as life gas. Our life it is supported by the oxygen, so both are useful gases only. See how harmful the oxides of nitrogen. Now by using this particular radioactive isotopes, these expensive metals like platinum, palladium, and also rhodium, we converted them into useful gases. Now let us take the oxides of the nitrogen, it is released into the atmosphere as it is. When you inhale it, it causes a lot many respiratory disorders. But when it is converted into nitrogen and oxygen and it is released out from the silencers, they are very helpful for the maintenance of the life on the earth planet. So this is how the catalytic converter it works. And these hydrocarbons are released into they are broken, they get dissociate to form carbon dioxide and also water. See, water no harm, carbon dioxide is also up to some limit, there is no harm. So this is how converting the toxic air pollutants to useful gases, then that process by utilizing the expensive radioactive metals such as platinum, palladium and rhodium, etc., that is called as catalytic converter. Students, again, as a part of my duty, I'm telling you, this question is many times asked question. You have to remember this question. Okay, hope you understood. Okay, now let us take one of the most important topic, that is controlling vehicular air pollution. It is actually a case study of Delhi, especially around 1990s. In 1990s में Delhi ranked fourth among the 41 most polluted cities of the world. That means पूरा world में there are 41 most polluted areas are there. In that, Delhi occupied the fourth position. See how hazardous it became. You know, I'll tell you one fact, and it is how dangerous. Just you will try to understand the number of cars alone in Delhi, that is equal to number of cars in Gujarat and also West Bengal. That means पूरा Gujarat state में and West Bengal में कितना number of cars are there, only Delhi में that many cars are there. That means how many vehicles are used by the Delhi population, that I'm leaving to your imagination. So in such a hazardous, pathetic condition में there is some one what I call public interest litigation policy. It's a kind of complaint. It is filed in the Supreme Court because the pollution it is getting increased, so that the mankind it is facing, they are facing a lot of serious problems. That's why you need to reduce it. You have to take the firm steps to reduce it. And this case was filed through public interest litigation, very simply called as PIL, public, PI, interest litigation L. So this complaint was filed by this pill. So the Supreme Court immediately ordered the government to take the necessary measures. What are that measures? Changing the public transport vehicles like buses from diesel to CNG by the end of 2002. That means they gave a strict order. By the end of 2002, every public transport vehicle should be converted from diesel to CNG engines, and phasing out the old vehicles. That's why, hope you remember that. I think that time you must be very small kids, but around 2002 mein, many cars which were used in the Delhi, they we used to purchase them in very less rates, because that old vehicles, even one of my friend, I don't want to tell the name, one of my friend bought that car in a very very less price. And that car is, if I am correct, if it is Audi or it may be some Mercedes, I don't exactly remember. But whatever it is, that is such a top branded vehicle, he got it in a very very less price. And in around 2002, it has happened in 2002, around 2002 may phasing out of all the old vehicles and replaced them with the new vehicles, and that is done. And use of unlead petrol, lead petrol is almost like completely banned in Delhi. And use of low sulfur petrol and diesel, and use of catalytic converter. Just now I explained what is catalytic converter. So use of catalytic converter in the vehicles. So these are the changes that are implemented in Delhi to reduce this particular pathetic air pollution. Now, why CNG? Okay, you definitely get a doubt after listening to this. Why only CNG? Because CNG it is very very efficient and less pollutant when you compare with petrol and diesel. It is one way very efficient, and the second way it is less pollutant than compressed natural gas. It is less pollutant than petrol and diesel. So these are the very very important reasons. That too, one more advantage is also there. It cannot be able to taken by someone. No one can be able to steal it, because for example petrol or diesel, someone, if you when you are sleeping, when you are midnight may, they can open this petrol pipe and they can collect this particular petrol and diesel and they can run away. But CNG, how they remove? because when you remove this, the gas it get completely get diffused into the air, so no one can be able to theft this particular CNGs. That is one of the biggest advantage. That's why instead of using petrol and diesel, which are more pollutant, the usage of the CNG greatly reduces the air pollution, and it is not easy to, it is impossible to what else steal it. So these are the reasons. And one more point also, it is very effective. These are the reasons made the government to convert all the public transport vehicles to CNG, compressed natural gas vehicles. Hope you understood, students. This is the Delhi Act. Delhi Act is very, very important. You have to remember this question. Okay. Now the next one is pollution level norms. Pollution level norms, actually it is started by Euro norms, but Bharat stages, that means our India just it followed this particular Euro norms, but when it comes to this India, they have to give the local name na, and that local name it is nothing but Bharat stages. But please understand, this was actually started by the Euro norms, in the name of Euro norms. But when it entered into, when we implemented India, when it is implementing these Euro norms, it has given a special name that is called as Bharat stages. Apart from that, to be frank, a genuine fact I'm telling you, Bharat stages are nothing but the implementations of the Euro norms only. The first European this norm, this it was taken in 1970, and they wanted to reduce this particular air pollutants. These air pollutants, they are creating hazardous effect to the mankind, so that the first European norm, it was taken, it was introduced in 1970. After 22 years passed, the next biggest change they have taken in 1992. That means almost after 22 years they have taken one more norm, and this norm it is called as Euro 1. Earlier one is Euro, and second one is Euro 1, and the third one is Euro 2, and the fourth one is Euro 3. Like that, after few years they are changing, they're adding some more useful points, and they are modifying in terms of Euro 1, Euro 2, Euro 3, Euro 4. Like that, they are upgrading for with a frequency of intervals. Okay. In that, they wanted to change, they wanted to reduce the air pollutants like carbon monoxide, oxides of nitrogen, hydrocarbons, and also particulate emission. Now, right now we are in the phase of Euro 3 norm. I'm talking about right now, that means in the 20th century, that means from what is 2010, from 2010 till the next norm comes, we are in Euro 3 norm. Again I'm telling you, from 2010, now whatever it is going on, we are all in the norm called as Euro 3 norm. In Euro 3 norm, they wanted to reduce sulfur emission, to reduce to 350 parts per million. That means ppm in diesel. That means in diesel they wanted to reduce the sulfur content to only 350 ppm, and they also wanted to reduce the sulfur content to 150 ppm in petrol, and they wanted to decrease this particular aromatic hydrocarbons to 42 percentage. So these are the Euro norms. Now same Euro norms, it is taken by the Indian government. When it is taken by the Indian government, they converted this particular Euro norm into Bharat stage 3. See, that's why, for to avoid your confusion, I added in the bracket also, it is equivalent to Euronorm 3. Euronorm 3. Now, the government of India, through a new auto fuel policy, they wanted to reduce the sulfur content to 50 ppm. See, actual norm, did you notice it or not? The difference, actual norm, they wanted to reduce to 350 and 150, but in India they wanted to decrease to 50 ppm. Of course it is impossible, but they're trying. See, unless we try heartfully, we should not admit our defeat. So they are trying, government it is like they are putting their soul to decrease, to reduce the sulfur content. If it works very, very good, we have to appreciate that effort. So but they are trying sincerely, they are trying to reduce the sulfur content both in petrol and also diesel to 50 ppm. Of course, even practically how possible it is, even we can't be able to justify, we can't be able to comment on that. And bringing down the level of aromatic hydrocarbons to 35%. See, actual norm mein 42%, but India still more they wanted to decrease, but how far it is going to be practically possible we don't know, but still the efforts are being done. The government it is putting soul to decrease this air pollution so that the mankind will live in a safe zone. Now upgrading the vehicle engines, so that means they have worn out the old vehicles, and this engine refinement, that means the new changes in the engines, it makes the air pollution less. So these are the norms, these are the policies they have taken by the Bharat stage 3, and these are the actual policies taken by Euronorm 3. Hope you understood, and you have to remember these are very important points, and you are very lucky in one point. Why? Because all these points will be asked in straight. There is no twisted questions, so you need not to worry about it. Straight questions comes in neat from this. Okay. Now, throughout the country, all the two-wheelers and also four-wheelers are following Bharat Stage 3, which is obviously equivalent to Euro Norm 3 that I already mentioned. But there are certain cities in India, especially 13 mega polluted cities in India. They are Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Pune, Surat, Kanpur, Sholapur, Agra, and Lucknow. So these are 13 mega polluted cities. In that, the vehicles are very like more. That's why government it entered into such a situation that they can't be able to handle the situation. That's why in these 13 cities they upgraded this particular Bharat stage 3 to Bharat stage 4. In that again all the vehicles will be what I call provided with new engine, and remaining rest of the India mein still we are following this Bharat stage 3, but in this 13 mega polluted cities mein we are following the Bharat norm 4. Hope you understood. With this, we completed the pollution level norms. That includes Euro norm and Bharat stage norms. Okay. Now, the last topic of air pollution, that is ozone and depletion. Ozone, let us start now. Ozone at the height of 16 kilometers to 25 kilometers of earth, there is one layer which consisting of, there is one layer in the stratosphere, and that concentric layer which is masking our earth planet, that is called as ozone. And the ozone content is very less in the atmosphere, and it is more in the stratosphere. Whereas there are two types of ozones: bad ozone and good ozone. Bad ozone means basically ozone, it has to be present in the stratosphere. That is the actual position of this ozone. When the ozone it is actually forming in the stratosphere, then that type of ozone it is called as good ozone, and which helps in the filtering of the sun rays. Because in the ecology, the first chapter of the what do you call organisms and population, the first chapter of ecology may I clearly told all the environmental abiotic factors. In that I explained about soil and light and water, everything I clearly explained. In that light topic I already told, light it is a form of electromagnetic radiation which consisting of several types of radiations: UV rays, IR rays, X rays, gamma rays. But our earth has to receive the light which is ranging from 400 to 700 mu microns, that means wavelength, and remaining rest of the wavelength they should not cross this particular ozone, they need to reflect, and that job it is done by the good ozone. Whereas bad ozone means in the troposphere, if the ozone it is formed, actual position of the ozone kya hai, stratosphere, but instead of stratosphere some amount of ozone it is forming in troposphere. If the ozone formation it is noticed in the troposphere, then it causes harm to the plants and animals. That type of ozone is called as a bad ozone. Again, a very simple summary I'm giving you. Ozone, the actual position of it is stratosphere. If it is actually producing in the stratosphere, it can be able to save plants and animals from the most powerful and hazardous radiations from sun by filtering them. Then that is called as good ozone. Hope you understood. The other hand, bad ozone means due to the human indiscriminate activities, this ozone it is forming in the troposphere. Instead of helping, it is even creating harmful effects in plants and animals. Then that ozone it is called as bad ozone. I think this summary it made this concept a little more clear. I think so. Now, this ozone, how it is getting depleted. Till now, we discussed about what is ozone and what is good ozone and bad ozone. Now we are going to discuss about how this ozone it is getting depleted. Basically, the thickness of the ozone in a column of air from the ground to the top of the atmosphere is measured in terms of Dobson's units. Very simply, Dobson's units, you can call it as DU, Dobson unit, DU. That is a simple form. Ozone gas is continuously formed by the action of UV rays. This point I'm repeating. Actually, I told the same point in your organisms and population topic. This point I already discussed. Basically, ozone it is formed by the UV rays when it is present in the stratosphere. Now, due to the excessive releasing of chlorofluorohydrocarbons, simply you can call it as CFCs, and also this oxides of nitrogen, this particular gases they are disrupting the formation of the ozone. Because of the disruption, this ozone slowly it is getting thin, and it forms a hole in that particular ozone layer, and that only it is called as ozone hole you can call, or you can even call the ozone depletion. Meaning is same, so you can name anything. Again, a very brief and simple summary I'm giving. In the stratosphere, ozone layer must be present, point number one, and it is formed by the natural UV rays, point number two. Now, in our earth, when you are releasing, due to the human indiscriminate activities, when we are releasing more number of chlorofluorohydrocarbons and also this oxides of nitrogen and methane, these they are thinning this particular ozone, which results in the formation of ozone hole, which you are calling it as ozone depletion. Hope you understood this summary. Now, how it is causing this depletion, let us see. This chlorofluorohydrocarbons, in the presence of the UV rays, they are getting converted themselves into chlorine, and this chlorine it is acting on the ozone, and it is breaking this ozone O3 into oxygen. Now, when it is converted into oxygen, that particular area where it is converting into oxygen, that area it is getting thin. Slowly it is getting thin, and there you can see some disruption, and the disruption only you are calling it as ozone hole or ozone depletion. Whereas this process, the process in which one chlorine atom it converts to one oxygen, one ozone molecule into oxygen molecule. That means one chlorine atom it is converting one ozone to one oxygen, and this process it is called as photo dissociation. Hope you understood. So this process it is called as photo dissociation. Now, let us take some more details of it. The chemical process of ozone depletion, it is a kind of chain reaction. Now this is a chlorofluorohydrocarbons when they are reacting with the UV rays, especially with the sunlight, it is converting into this chlorofluorohydrocarbons, they are converting into this chlorine. Now this chlorine it is reacting with the ozone, and it is converting it into chlorine monoxide and oxygen, and this chlorine monoxide when it is joined with the free oxygen atom, it is converting into chlorine and oxygen. So this is a chain of reactions by which the ozone layer it is getting depleted. Now, the chlorofluorocarbons added to the stratosphere have prominent and continuing effect on the ozone levels, resulting in the formation of large area of thinned ozone layer, commonly called as ozone hole. Now you understood now how the ozone hole it is formed. Now the most clearly visibly you can be able to see the ozone depletion in Antarctic region. Of course in 18, I'm really sorry I used a wrong number. In 1985, for the first time this ozone hole it is discovered in Antarctica by using Nimbus 7 satellite. Okay, you understood now? Now let us take the causes of the what I call ozone depletion. I think I need not to tell it separately because I already clearly told ozone depletion it is mainly caused due to UV light and of course by chlorofluorohydrocarbons. See, the substances which causes this ozone depletion they are called as ozone depleting substances. That means ozone depleting substances means the substances which are responsible for the ozone depletion they are called as ozone depleting substances. See, this ozone under UV rays and also by the influence of the chlorofluorohydrocarbons it is converting into oxygen and free oxygen atoms. Now let us take CFCs. CFCs they're also called as aerosols. Why? Because they are present in the fine drops. That's why droplets. That's why they're called as aerosols released into the atmosphere from refrigerators, air conditioner, and also even our jet planes, which depletes or reduces the ozone layer. And also UVB light. Students, very clearly in a very detailed way I explained about UV rays and types of UV rays. So please again once again you watch that particular video, or otherwise you must have noted down in your notebook. You open the notebook and please read the types of UV rays. In that, UVB is a very dangerous one which damages DNA and it causes mutations also, and it causes aging of skin, damage to the skin cells, and various types of skin cancers called as melanoma. In human eye, cornea absorbs UVB radiation, and high dose of UVB causes inflammation of cornea, and which is called as snow blindness and cataract, etc. And such exposure may be permanently damage the cornea. So these are the harmful effects of this particular UVB radiation. And number of pollutants like CFCs 14% of the total depletion, and nitrogen oxides 3.5% of the ozone depletion, and methane and also this halogens also they are contributing some part of the ozone depletion. Hope you understood how this ozone and what are the factors, what are the pollutants that are causing the ozone depletion. You must have understood. Now the last topic of the air pollution. With this I am completing the air pollution topic, and tomorrow I'll come up with some other topic, that is Montreal Protocol. Montreal Protocol, it is actually a protocol, it is actually internal treaty in which they wanted to control the gases, the pollutants which are causing for the ozone depletion. Now, recognizing the deleterious effects of ozone depletion, an international treaty known as Montreal Protocol was signed at Montreal, Canada in 1987. Of course, it is signed in 1987, but it became effective from 1989 to control the emission of the ozone depleting substances. So, hope you understood what is the meaning of Montreal Protocol. Montreal Protocol means they wanted to take some prominent steps to control these CFCs and also these UV radiations so that the ozone remains safe. And at normal temperature and pressure, the thickness of the ozone layer is 3 mm, but in poles the thickness is a little high, that is 4 mm, and the thickness of the ozone is measured by Dobson's unit. Simply you can call it as DU. And if you take the year wise thickness of the ozone layer, in 1979, 225 DUs, that means Dobson units thickness is there, and In 1985, 136 dopes units. That means, see how the ozone it became thin. Did you notice it or not? Whereas in 1994 it became 94 dopes units. That means year after year the pollution it is getting increased, which results in the thinning of this particular ozone, which causes lot many diseases and basically most hazardous effects to the mankind. So it is better to reduce the vehicle pollutions. These fossil fuels, how much ever you reduce, that much safe you can live. So try to share the vehicles, that only I am saying it. That means when some friends are coming, you try to pick one day, that friend, one friend will pick another, and the next day you can do like vice versa. Like that you can save the petrol. If saving the petrol means not only saving your money, you are saving the atmosphere from the hazardous effect. By that you are saving the mankind. So that is the biggest service what we can do now. Okay, thank you so much. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Thank you so much.